this. So, again, we talk about the people who don't have any idea about prophecy and they don't have the Lord. They're looking at just some evil guys trying to take control. Then we've got the NAR and the Christian nationalists who believe this is their fight to bring in the kingdom now, which is a false teaching. Then you've got the Christ-following prophecy watchers that have the Lord, that know this is for the beast kingdom, or for the beast system, but they still just don't quite know the why of it. With all of that, the key to understanding the why is to go all the way back to the Garden of Eden. It comes down to a simple phrase of, did he really say? That's what the serpent asked the question, posed it to Eve, said, did God really say? When the serpent said, you can be like God, the birth of Gnosticism began right there. And the goal is to reach new knowledge, enlightenment, and to be like God. Because that's what the serpent tempted Eve with, is you can be like God. If you eat of this fruit, you will have the knowledge of God, you will have the enlightenment of God, and you will be like God. And that's what fuels Gnosticism to Theosophy to New Age. That's the whole foundation for all of that. It's as simple as that, started all the way back then. And then you also take it to the Tower of Babel. That was also the thing, build a tower unto ourselves. We can be gods. We can build our stairway to heaven. That's, in case people don't realize, that's what that song by Led Zeppelin is about. It's about the Tower of Babel. It was the stairway to heaven. And so it's been that way. And when we look at what's going on with transhumanism today, it's about being like gods. It's about living forever, reaching immortality, having new knowledge, being able to repair yourself if you get injured, no diseases, having superhuman ability, utilizing the Internet of Bodies, and all of that. That all stems from, again, the Garden of Eden. You can be like God. And it comes all the way back through. Everything we see happening now is based around that idea, that belief. Technology, government, health, religion, economy, etc. is all about reaching that Gnostic level. It's all about reaching that new knowledge, that ability of an enlightenment to be like God. Now, it's just labeled as spiritual or spirituality. A lot of people might notice that that's become the new theme, that's become the new fad, where people will just say, I'm spiritual. They'll say, I'm spiritual. I believe in the spirit. I believe in the energy. I believe in the power. I believe in God. What God? I don't know. But they all say, I'm spiritual. I have a spirituality about me. That's the new term that Satan has put in there, because he understands there's a stigma behind New Age now. He understands that's not widely accepted in the world anymore. So he just flipped it to spiritual. So that's an important thing to understand. When people say they're spiritual, a lot of them don't even know what they're saying. But really what it is I believe in some type of New Age mumbo jumbo. Some part of it, that's what I believe in. Most of them, not all of them. But again, a lot of them don't even know what they're saying. But that is the new term, is spirituality or spiritual, which is just another label, again, for New Age. When the understanding of why is applied, everything being done today, all of the news that we see today, makes a lot more sense. It is the key really that unlocks most of it, because a lot of, and I still see it with a lot of prophecy watchers. I'm not knocking anybody. I'm not knocking anybody, but I still see it in a lot of prophecy watchers where they go, why would they do this? Why would this politician do that? Why would this person do that? Why would they be making this? Why would they be doing that? Well, if, again, you understand what they're doing with New Age and how it applies to everything, you're not asking those questions anymore. Everything is just going, oh, that makes sense. Okay, I get it. Oh, that's where that comes from. Again, it just is a key to understanding exactly why they're doing all these moves. And it just makes a whole lot more sense. So you're not really asking that question. So having the understanding is key when we look at someone like this person by the name of Barbara Marx Hubbard. also known as the godmother of transhumanism or the mother of invention. So, with this, I've been trying to figure out where the starting point I should begin on this. I know a lot of people would say just start at the beginning, go back to, maybe like the Rockefellers or something like that. I think this is probably the best place to start, because my whole journey down this rabbit hole actually began with this woman. Now, I don't know if anybody has ever heard of this person before, but Barbara Marx Hubbard is evil, straight evil, and she is one of the people. Well, we're going to go through a lot of her life and what she's connected to, and that's what we're going to be using to branch off of into all these other things that I was talking about before, because she's connected to all of it. So I do think that this is the right place to start. Hubbard died in 2019, but if we look at her connections, we'll see just how involved she really was, I would say still is, because her beliefs and her stuff is still going on today. So if we take a look, there she is. Just looks like somebody's old grandma, doesn't it? This chick is evil. Straight up evil. Okay. Barbara Marx Hubbard. Barbara Marx Hubbard has been called the voice for conscious, this is a word, just got to work with me, guys. Conscious evolution of our time by Deepak Chopra. She is the subject of Neil Donald Walsh's book, The Mother of Invention. A prolific author of 9 books. We're going to take a look at a few of them. Visionary social innovator and educator. She is co-founder and co-chair of the Foundation for Conscious Evolution. We're going to take a look at that. And the president of Evolutionary Academy. During 2017 to 2018, she produced a year-long global intensive, Awaken the Species, with Humanity's team and Steve Farrell. AwakenNewSpecies.com. I went there. It's not up right now. I don't know if it's taken down permanently or temporarily. Could not get into it. If I can find a way in there in the future, we'll take a look. But Awaken. So hold on. Bring me back before we finish reading that. Something I've always talked about with you guys. There are key words to look for. And you know that it's not good when you hear it. You know it is a red flag when you hear that, and you need to run. And I don't mean just kind of stay there and, okay, what do you got going on? No, I mean hightail it out of there, get out of Dodge, sprint the other way. Because when you see awaken or awakening, and I don't care if it's connected to left wing or right wing, when you see awaken, or if it's in the church, NAR specifically, when you hear awaken and awakening, you get out. That is red flag. This is not good. And you're going to see a lot of that word as we go through this series. You're going to see a lot of that word. So Awaken the Species. She is co-chair of the Center for Integral Wisdom and is writing 3 books with the center president, Mark Gaffney. And we're going to talk about him, trust me, to evolve the source code of our culture. She is co-founder of the Association for New Thought, AGNT. We're going to talk about that next episode. The World Future Society, which if you want to see anything on their website, you have to become a member. And a member of the Club of Budapest. She's also involved with a lot of other things as well. But you can just see, just from this short little about section, this is on her website as a part of her announcement that she passed from 2019. You can see that she's hooked up and caught up in a lot of very, very bad things. Now, Hubbard has been she was born into a wealthy Jewish family, but it was an agnostic family, so they have the Jewish bloodline, but they were actually agnostic. And she was born in 1929, New York. Wealthy family. You notice how all these people are always wealthy? They have money. They don't have to worry about that, so they can continue to do that. Satan likes to put his people in wealthy places. Let's see. Her family had access to high-level other families, including the Rockefellers. Again, we got a whole thing on that. We'll get into that. And even in her 20s, her family was good friends with President Eisenhower, which allowed her access to high-profile people and the White House. We'll talk about that as well later on. That carried on her entire life, even being a vice presidential nomination in 1984. And we'll talk about that this episode. Money, connections, and influence allowed her and her New Age / evolutionary false teachings reach far and wide. I mean, you want to talk about any angle of New Age, she was a part of it. She was preaching it, she was teaching it, she was getting it involved in influential places with influential people and stacked into agendas. She was on a first name basis with a lot of people, from the Rockefellers to many people in the White House, not just the Eisenhowers, but many people in the White House, as well as people from the Club of Rome. Again, we're going to go there. It's going to be a ride, I'm telling you guys. New Age spirituality, transhumanism, eugenics, futurism, quantum transformation, and more. She was in it, and she was getting it to high places. What looks like somebody's cute grandma that would give you a cookie when you come over for a visit. She was the one that was pushing a lot of transhuman stuff. Best friends with Ray Kurzweil. We'll talk about him as well. And you'll notice that a lot of the same beliefs that she's a part of, people like Peter Thiel also carry as well. Again, we'll talk about all that. When we view the agendas of climate change, all that stuff, transhumanism, quantum computing, sustainable development, One Health, circular economy, and the transition into a neo-feudalistic technocracy, her hands have been involved in some way or another. Now, I know a lot of people, again, they think they're trying to develop a communism type of world. They're not looking to develop a communism type of world, guys. They're looking to take it much further, and that's why I've always said they're trying to create that neo-feudalistic technocracy. They want to use technology to create kings and subjects. That is the whole point of what the evil people are trying to do. Now, the Antichrist obviously has his own agenda, which when we read in scripture, that is going to dominate what these faces want to do. But right now, what these evil people are trying to do, they're using New Age to create a neo-feudalistic technocracy. That's what they're working on right now, and she is one of the leading people in it. One of her main focuses is the push for synchronized mental, spiritual, and emotional communities. Say that again. One of her main focuses is the push for synchronized mental, spiritual, and emotional communities. Now, we talked about this in case some people haven't seen it. We just went over the CIA's gateway process, as well as the theory of mind New Age system that is built upon synchronization of heart, body, and brain. And what it does is when you use certain ways, usually frequencies or vibrations, that's where the good vibe stuff comes from, is you're trying to put your body on a level outside of what God has made it to reach a new energy, a new way of thinking, new enlightenment, new knowledge, however you want to put it. You're trying to do that same thing with the brain. When you put the left and the right side of your brains on the synchronized, you get them on the same level utilizing frequencies. You're able to then to start astral projection. That is the whole point of it. And so when you're talking about using synchronized mental, spiritual, and emotional communities, you're talking about getting that type of system on a much larger scale. You're trying to get it into whole communities. And that's what she was trying to do. And you'll see why in a minute. One of these groups that she helped push and she endorsed was the HeartMath Institute. She heavily endorsed this company. So if we take a quick little look at their About section, we get an idea of what they're all about. If I can pull it up on my screen. There we go. Okay. So the HeartMath Institute, I know a lot of people may not have heard about these people, but they're in with a lot of different studies and research. Yeah, it's interesting. So if you take a look at their mission and vision, our vision, a kinder, heart-centered world where we care for one another and live harmoniously in peace. So again, heart-centered world. Our mission to co-create. That's another code word, another key word that I want you guys to remember as we go about this. If you got a notebook or post-it notes or something, write down awaken, write down co-create. I'll show you why that word is a red flag in a minute. To co-create a kinder, more compassionate world by conducting interconnectivity research. We're starting to see the Internet of Bodies coming about on this, and providing heart-based, science-proven tools for raising humanity's baseline consciousness from separation and discord to compassionate care and cooperation. We got co-create, we got interconnectivity, we got consciousness. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, this is going to be wicked. HeartMath Institute, right here, our cause, awakening. There is the word again, awakening the heart of humanity. HeartMath Institute is committed to helping awaken the hearts of humanity. We believe that when we align and connect our hearts, that's synchronization. There's New Age. We believe that when we align and connect our hearts and minds and connect with others, we awaken the higher mental, emotional, and spiritual capacities that frequently lie dormant. Okay, so before we even continue any further, right here, align and connect our hearts and minds and connect with others, we awaken the higher mental, emotional, and spiritual capacities. This is Hinduism. This is Eastern mysticism right off the bat. Because the whole point, and if I'll do that a little bit later, but just to give you an idea, if you guys want to look it up for yourselves, the whole idea of not only yoga, but meditation, and it's about aligning your chakras together to reach serpent level knowledge, which is a heightened sense of knowledge and enlightenment that lies dormant in every single one of us. The very first one at the base of your spine is the root, and you work your way up through these chakras to hit it. And everybody in New Age, everybody in Hinduism, in all of that, is the root of it. Your inner god or goddess lies dormant in the root. And the only way to do it is to hit a higher level of mental or knowledge status, aligning your chakras to hit it. So when they're specifically talking about, we believe that when we align and connect our hearts and minds and connect with others, we awaken the higher mental, that's the higher serpent knowledge, the enlightenment, emotional and spiritual capacities that lie dormant. That's in your root. So they're taking it straight from Hinduism on this. HMI aspires to always conduct our operations with passion, compassion, and a heartfelt desire to transform lives. Everything is all about getting this cutesy stuff to benefit lives and everything, when in actuality, this is straight up Eastern mysticism, New Age that's going on here. This is in keeping with our desire to help usher in an era of ever-expanding heart intelligence. HeartMath's research, training, and technologies are aimed at guiding all of humanity towards realization of its full potential and to rely on the qualities of the heart and its role as a caretaker for future generations on the planet. Now, again, we're going deep on this. You guys try and keep some of this stuff in mind when we're talking about the role of the heart as the caretaker of future generations and the planet. You're starting to see the climate stuff. You're starting to see the Mother Earth coming through. All of this stuff is the same thing from New Age. This is the same stuff that Hubbard has been implementing in high levels of government stuff, WEF, UN, all of this. And everything is based on, you know, your higher level of mental, emotional, and spiritual capacities that lie dormant. That is your Hinduism stuff. If you guys remember, for those of you who are here, if you weren't here for it, I highly suggest you go back and check out when I was talking about the SCL curriculum that's being pushed into schools and stuff. This is the exact same religion, the exact same practice, demonic practice that is being placed into the CASEL or the SEL, social emotional learning curriculum that is now getting pushed into schools globally. Mainly in the United States, but it's getting pushed globally as well. This is the same stuff. And you will notice one of the things, which we'll talk about later, but I'll just give you a little thing here. One of the main points of the Fourth Industrial Revolution and the new normal, which there's a lot more to that term than just it became a word that people were using in 2020. The whole point of that stuff, not the whole point, but one of the main points of it is new education level. It's about bringing in new education. What is the education they're talking about? That's the new education they're talking about. A lot of people are saying social justice, alphabet stuff, which that's a part of it. But that's a very small part of this new education that they're trying to push into things. That is what they're trying to push in when it comes to the new education, is this new age stuff about higher mental, emotional, and spiritual. And that's the whole point of SEL, is that social, emotional learning. It's the same thing. You'll notice that theme throughout everything as well. Now, if we go to a little bit further down on HeartMath's about, we find some more stuff. If we want to look at, I don't know if I'll take you guys there, but in 1991, Doc Childre founded HeartMath Institute. There's a nonprofit version, then there is the for-profit version. They're both equally evil and all a part of the same thing. But you will see today, HeartMath serves people of all ages and walks of life around the world in their homes, classrooms, and communities. There it is, classrooms. That's your SEL. That is your CASEL. HeartMath is involved in getting this new age stuff into the schools for the kids to get sucked up into. And then it says HMI's simple, user-friendly mental and emotional self-regulation tools. If you go on their website, I don't have pictures for it, but if you go on their website, they actually have things for you to buy where you can regulate your emotional level, your heart frequency level, and they'll teach you how to get it on the level that they want you to have it. But yeah, user-friendly mental and emotional self-regulation tools and techniques provide benefits in the moment and over sustained periods. They enable people anywhere to everywhere to break through to greater levels of personal balance. There's another word right there. I've talked about it before. Red flag word, balance. You know how when I was going over, again, if you guys don't remember, I'm sorry. Just go back and check out some of my older stuff. But if you remember, we were talking about the infinity symbol. We were talking about the four-leaf clover. We were talking about the Knights Templar cross. We were talking about all these different symbols and stuff. That's all about balance. It's all about bringing balance, which is the divine masculine and the divine feminine together into perfect balance. So when they're talking about balance, that comes from Eastern mysticism, that comes from that Hinduism type of thing, where you achieve balance to align yourself to reach that new enlightenment. All of that, again, goes sucked back down into Gnosticism. You will have new knowledge, you will be like God. Everything goes to that. All of it goes to that. That is the most important thing to remember. All of these new practices, everything, Hinduism, Buddhism, they got some of the most ridiculous things out there, but New Age, all of these things, they all go to that occultism. That is all in there. NAR is the same thing. People don't realize NAR is a soft version of New Age. It is a soft version of it. And right now we're actually witnessing more of it going into that charismatic, that NAR church. And we've talked about that before with the frequency of music. That's one where they're trying to get people's body levels, their minds synchronized on the same level. That's when the Kundalini comes out. We'll talk about that. Trust me. All of this stuff comes from the same thing. And HeartMath is a part of it. Now, if we keep looking, we've worked with major corporations, government and social service agencies, all branches of the military, schools and universities, hospitals, and a wide range of healthcare professionals and law enforcement agencies. HeartMath family and their system. HeartMath was born out of a deep sense of caring for people. Oh, they just care for us, guys. They just have such a good heart. They just care about us. So much so they want us to do demonic practices that will drag many, many souls down to hell. But, they care for us. HeartMath was born out of a deep sense of caring for people on our planet. There's the planet again, and a desire to develop effective and scalable methods and technologies that help people self-regulate their emotions and behavior. That's SEL again, right there. The HeartMath family includes the non-profit HeartMath Institute and for-profit HeartMath Inc. The HeartMath system offers the hope of new, effective solutions for the many daunting problems that face society by restoring balance, there it is, and maximizing every individual's potential. We want to share the HeartMath promise and story in ways that inspire others to join us in creating more heart-connected world. Isn't it beautiful? They just care about us so much. They care about us and the planet, and they just want everybody's hearts to be connected and in it on the same level. It's just beautiful. Now, how are they doing this? What is one of the biggest things on this? What is their belief on this? Well, I've got a little video that is on their site, and it's about the Global Coherence Initiative. This is something that Hubbard directly, she directly endorsed this, and her ideas and practices were involved with this. It's about a 3.5-minute video. There's a lot of very curious information in here. You'll notice connections between what they're pushing and what you see going on with Agenda 2030. You'll see it.
We've all felt at one point or another we are interconnected. But is this an illusion or a scientific reality? After conducting years of experiments, researchers at the HeartMath Institute have discovered what they describe as heart coherence. Coherence is an optimal state in which the mind and emotions are brought into alignment and in sync with the heart's intuitive guidance. Practicing the state of coherence creates a cascade of neural and biochemical events that benefit the entire body, especially our mental and emotional stability. The human heart generates a magnetic field that can be measured outside of the body. The vibrational pattern of that field changes based on our attitudes, emotions, and intentions, and can affect the mental and emotional states of others around us. Our Earth is constantly bathed in electromagnetic fields. These fields affect and connect every living organism on the planet, human beings included. We are not only all swimming in a common vibrational field, but each of us are contributing our own positive or negative vibrations to the field, based on our thoughts, feelings, and interactions. And when you are in coherence, your heart resonates in the same frequency range as the Earth's magnetic field. When a group of people are in coherence together, this effect is magnified. Could large numbers of people synchronized in heart coherence generate a more coherent global field that can benefit others and help offset worldwide fear and incoherence? This is the pursuit of the Global Coherence Initiative. A global network of ultra-sensitive magnetic field detectors and other scientific instruments have been installed around the planet, measuring fluctuations in the field, creating one of the world's largest experiments for intentionally evolving human consciousness. By joining the initiative, you will practice methods that are helpful for increasing your personal well-being and energy levels, reducing stress, fear, and anxiety, while connecting you with your heart's deeper guidance for choices and decisions. At the same time, you'll be helping to shape the collective field of our planet for the better. As a participant, you will learn how to measure your coherence level in real time, along with hundreds of thousands of people in over 150 countries who are adding heart energy to the planet. We're at a point in the history of consciousness where we have an opportunity to make an evolutionary leap to a more cooperative and compassionate way of being. It's time to feed the field with more love and care for each other. Welcome to the Global Coherence Initiative.
So, that is one of their major initiatives, and you can see many different things coming in that video. We could probably do an entire episode on it, but the thing I want to focus on is you'll notice that we're back again to the energy and vibration doctrine of New Age. It's false doctrine. It's the doctrine of demons, exactly what Timothy tells us about. But it's the doctrine of energy and vibration. It's about how we have this energy that comes from us that, again, that's when you hear good vibes, bad vibes, I'm vibing, I vibe with that type of thing. That's what it is. Again, a lot of people use those terms, but they don't even know what it means. They think it's just a way of saying, oh, that's cool, when in actuality, it's buried deep into New Age. That's the whole point of it, is the vibration of it. Again, we've talked about with the theory of mind, where people believe that with the theory of mind, it's the spirituality of our collective brainwaves that create unified thoughts rather than we convey our own individual thoughts and beliefs. So they believe that because, like, again, I'll use this example. I'm sitting in an apartment complex. I got somebody above me, somebody to the left, somebody to the right, somebody behind me. Well, since they all believe that the sky is blue, their brainwave energy is now giving me that same thought. It's not the idea and thought of my own created self, but it's because of their brainwave energy that I now believe that same thought. That is the idea of the New Age and the theory of mind, as well as the energy and vibration teaching of New Age. So that's when you hear that they're all trying to get everybody's hearts on the same wavelength. They're trying to get everybody's hearts connected and all aligned. That's where that belief comes from. That's the exact same thing. So they want everybody's hearts matched with that to go along with their mental, spiritual, and emotional levels. They want all of everybody to match that so they can create this giant energy field. And that's what we're seeing with that. Hubbard and HeartMath wants to create this synchronization globally to put everybody on the same spiritual level, that New Age level. One where everyone will fall in line with the agendas being presented to them through the WEF and the UN. Now, a lot of people are thinking, how on earth do we get to that point? Well, again, as we go throughout this series, you'll just see how much of Hubbard's teaching and how much of the New Age, along with Alice Bailey and Helena Blavatsky's teachings, Theosophy teachings, you'll see just how much of those are intertwined in the WEF and the UN and their agendas. So it's, again, all connected, and I'm going to take you on this journey to make sure you guys understand that. The climate religion being pushed is one fixed upon keeping the planet in a good vibes state. You notice how you're seeing this climate change thing getting pushed everywhere? Well, that has to do with this climate religion that they are teaching that has to do with New Age, keeping the planet in a good vibes, good energy position. And again, I'll explain that this episode, why that all connects. But they want to keep that in a good state, and utilizing the collective energy of humans and the earth, it will create spiritual harmony. Hubbard held the belief that the world needs to reach a certain level of consciousness. Now, what type of consciousness? A Christ consciousness. I kid you not. Welcome to Hubbard's Achieving Christ Consciousness. Yeah. Just a quick little thing of what this means. Right here, this was an interview that she did for OM Times. They have a podcast on there, but this was back in 2015. And the summary of what they were talking about says, we know that Jesus was revolutionary. You notice how they don't say he was God or the God-man or the Savior, what he actually is. No, they say Jesus was revolutionary, but he was evolutionary as well. In her new book, The Evolutionary Testament of Co-Creation, there's co-creation again. There's the co-creation again. Barbara Marx Hubbard takes an in-depth examination of the Gospels and discovers that Jesus' teachings provide us with solutions for our current challenges. Oh, trust me, we're gonna get into that. She believes that each of us is endowed with Christ-like powers. There it is. You will be like gods. You are gods. It lies dormant, and you must, say it with me now, awaken it. She believes that each of us is endowed with Christ-like powers that can help us to collectively transform our planet and create a positive future for everyone. Join us for an important and transformational conversation with renowned author, teacher, and visionary, Barbara Marx Hubbard. Oh, there is a lot in that, isn't there? There is a lot in there. But you'll see, again, co-creation. Their belief, and I've talked about this because this is exactly what Peter Thiel believes. Co-creation is God gave us technology to put ourselves on his level so we can co-create together with God. That's what co-creation is. But what she's pushing as far as co-creation is we are gods. We must awaken it. We must hit that new evolutionary level, which we'll talk about that as well, to co-create together at the level of God. So she's removing God, and she's saying we're going to put ourselves at that position. Sounds a whole lot like the Tower of Babel, doesn't it? Then she talks about Christ-like powers. Christ-like powers, and she talks about transform the planet. There's your climate religion again, but Christ-like powers. Christ-like powers is the belief that we are gods. Now, again, I've talked about how this has been creeping into the church for a very long time. Have you ever heard a pastor, a teacher, anybody involved in church say Christian means little Christ? Have you ever heard that? That's New Age. That is the idea that we have divine ability in us. That's the belief that we have gods in us. We are gods, little Christ. Christian does not mean little Christ. Christian means to be Christ-like. Big difference. But what she's pushing is we are little Christs. We must awaken it to be God level. And so that's what she's pushing. She's pushing the little gods doctrine. This idea came from Hubbard's belief in the conscious evolution. Here we go with the evolution stuff. The conscious evolution. A oneness with the earth. The oneness with the earth. So when you're talking about connecting everybody's hearts and minds and emotions and spiritual levels with the earth energy, you're starting to see the oneness of it, as well as her futurism theology. And that brings in the melding of man and machine. That brings that in. First, let's look at what conscious evolution is. And we're going to go to none other than her foundation about what it is, the conscious revolution defined. Let's take a look. This is a very interesting little thing that they have here. Conscious evolution. Conscious evolution is the evolution of evolution. So that's not a typo. It's the evolution of what we have evolution now. I'll explain it, don't worry. From unconscious to conscious choice. So what she's pushing is evolution up until this point has been an unconscious choice, and everybody has evolved without the mindset of actually choosing to evolve. What she's saying is conscious evolution is now we're at the level where we can consciously choose to evolve to that next level, the godlike level. While consciousness has been evolving for billions of years, yeah, because when you have this belief, you have this idea of an old earth. Christians, biblical Christians, hold the idea of a young earth. Has been evolving for billions of years. Conscious evolution is new. It is part of the trajectory of human evolution, the canvas of choice before us, now as we recognize that we have come to possess the powers that we used to attribute to the gods. So she's throwing all of the gods in there at the same time, putting them all on the same level, and that we possess the same power. And yes, she's throwing in Jesus. I've got a video later that will show you exactly from her own mouth that she's throwing Jesus in there as well. We are poised in this critical moment, facing decisions that must be made consciously if we are to avoid destroying the world as we know it. Here comes the climate agenda. If we are instead to co-create, there it is, a future of immeasurable possibilities. Our conscious evolution is an invitation to ourselves to open to the positive future, to see ourselves as one planet. There's her oneness again. We are one with the planet. And to learn to use our powers, Christ-like powers, wisely and ethically for the enhancement of all life on Earth. And I copied this directly from her website. She has Earth capitalized. That's another New Age thing. There's your Mother Earth right there. That is, whenever you hear Mother Earth, it's a living being to them in that sense. Conscious evolution can also be seen as an awakening, there it is, of a memory that resides in the synthesis of human knowing. There's the knowledge. There's the knowledge. You got to awaken it. From spiritual to social to scientific. Indeed, all of our efforts to discover the inherent design of our life itself can be seen as the process of one intelligence, striving to know itself through our many eyes. Again, it's like you're getting that energy type of thing. You're getting the oneness intelligence involved. We're all connected. Our minds are not our own created thoughts. They're all connected and we share them. Possess one intelligence striving to know itself through our many eyes and to set the stage for a future of immense co-creativity. She likes to say that a lot. This awakening has gained momentum as three new understandings, the three C's, have arisen. Cosmogenesis. This is the recent discovery that puts that the universe has been and is now evolving. As Brian Swim puts it, time is experienced as an evolutionary sequence of irreversible transformations rather than as ever renewing cycles. Our new crisis that we are faced with a complex of crises, most especially environmental. Here we go again. There's your climate religion, your climate change, your sustainable development goals are all based on that. There's your new age. We are participating in a global system that is far from equilibrium, conditions that are known to favor a macro shift. This kind of dramatic repatterning can be a sudden shift towards de-evolution. Devolution? I think it's de-evolution. Sorry. Brain fart moment. De-evolution and chaos. Or it can be an evolution towards a higher, more complex order. At this moment in evolution, the outcome depends on our choices. And time is running out. We have the power, everybody. We have the power to evolve our evolution, conscious evolution. We must change or suffer dire consequences. Our crises are acting as evolutionary drivers, pressuring us to innovate and transform. And lastly, our new capacities, the advent of radical evolutionary technologies such as biotechnology, nanotechnology, quantum computing, space exploration, etc. I told you there's the transhumanism, offer us the possibility of profound change in the physical world at the same time that we are facing the possible destruction of our life support systems. The climate change is going to kill the planet. We can also see that the tools are there to transform ourselves, our bodies, and our world. Conscious evolution in the sense of transhumanism to reach that new level. We are consciously choosing to evolve to transhumans. You see how that's connected? We can and are actually moving beyond the creature-human condition towards a new species, a universal, a one-world humanity capable of co-evolving with nature. Conscious evolution defined at her own foundation for conscious evolution. When we read through all of that, we can see all the technology, all of the agendas, and everything in between is all connected to that. It's all connected to conscious evolution. It's all connected to New Age religion. Everything that we see, the why of what they're creating, is because of New Age theology. Everything is connected to that. Government, technology, religion, and churches, it's all connected to that, which will then come together to form the Antichrist beast system, where the whole goal is to worship Satan through a one world religion. And this is how we're getting there. I told you I wasn't playing around. The New Age religion, which will eventually become the one world religion, is wrapped into everything that we see. It's not just some evil billionaire political people that want to put their thumb on society. That idea is being used with some people, but a lot of them, most of them, believe in this stuff. They do. We'll talk about some of that as we go. But I wanted you guys to have an understanding of what this conscious evolution is and how it's connected into transhumanism, the technology, the economy, the planet, the climate, quantum, all of it. It's all in there. It's all in there. This idea of evolution comes after the belief that we are gods. We have the power of God in us, that we are on an equal level with a power force. Hang on to that term, power force. We'll get back to that in a minute. Hubbard claims to have entered a dream state. We're going to get an idea of where this came from with her. So hang on. Hubbard claims to have entered a dream state where a vision of the future was given to her by her inner voice. We've talked about the inner voice stuff. When a lot of people are channeling, they're channeling spirits and whatnot, they hear their inner voice. It's peaceful voice, inner voice, and all this stuff. We hear these things in the NAR church too. Jesus came to me. I had this vision. I heard this voice. Kind of starting to sense a theme with how that works. She described her vision in 1966, where she was sitting above the earth, and the earth was a living body, and we are the cells of the body. There is the oneness, the planet oneness, that we are connected to the earth. And so the energy the earth gives off, we have that energy, we give to that energy and take from it with our heart energy and whatnot. It's all in there with this one earth. We are cells on the living body. There's your Mother Earth. There's your New Age type of belief right there. Mother Earth is your climate religion. They're trying to protect the planet. They're trying to protect her. And the earth energy that we feed off of is our vibrations, our heart energy that comes off of that. This is where the oneness with earth philosophy comes from that she preaches on that. Her vision then shot her forward in time where she saw Earth and the people surrounded by a bright, radiant light, where it was perfectly aligned. There's your chakra and your alignment in a magnetic field of love energy. That love energy, that's the same thing that we watched with the HeartMath coherence video. It's about love, heart energy, coherence, alignment, getting on the same thing. But she's talking about how the earth was surrounded by a bright, radiant light that was perfectly aligned. She saw mass healings of physical, emotional, and spiritual bodies as people's individual inner lights merged with the large radiant light, which then sent out shockwaves of energy and vibrations filled with joy. This is her describing this dream that she had. This is her words. She described this as the earth being born again. The earth being born again. Where love prevailed. This is where we see most of her approach when it comes to helping bring about these agendas, where the focus is on Earth and the climate. We see it in her writings as well. And we're going to look at one of her books. I told you we'd look at a few of her books. This one's called Birth 2012 and Beyond. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Birth 2012 and Beyond, Humanity's Great Shift to the Age of Conscious Evolution by Barbara Marx Hubbard. Explaining how the planet's myriad crises, this is the summary of the book, explaining how the planet's myriad crises are actually the birth pangs of a new Earth. You're going to notice a lot of biblical stuff taken out and used in this New Age stuff. Satan can't create anything new. He always imitates, so he takes from God and twists it for his own use. Birth pangs of a new earth. This inspired exploration is Barbara Marx Hubbard's prophetic call, talk about that in a second too, of a planetary shift. It explores the aftermath of the coming planetary renaissance that she has heralded for decades and introduces an established popular global movement to co-create a massive transition around a symbolic planetary birthday event on December 22nd, 2012. Y'all remember the Mayan calendar that ended on December 21st, 2012, and everybody thought that the world was going to end? She believes that that was the new birth of the Earth. This volume features 12 evolutionary pioneers' commentary on the author's key themes of collective birth and conscious evolution, aiming to foster the emergence of, here we go, a sustainable planetary civilization, or a sustainable development goals. I wasn't talking out my rear end, guys. There it is. Featured contributors include Irvin Laszlo, Michael Beckwith, Jack Canfield, Jean Houston, and Neil Donald Walsh. It's in everything. It's in everything. Right there. Themes of a collective birth and conscious evolution, aiming to foster the emergence of a sustainable planetary civilization. Those are your sustainable development goals. I wasn't making it up. This new age is in everything that is being pushed for this beast system. This experience, her vision and inner voice, this experience was also her platform during her vice president nomination, 1984. I told you we were going to get to this. Her speech was quite telling on several parts. And so I went through, it was an 11-minute video. I cut it down as much as I could. I cut it down to 5 minutes. So it is a 5-minute video. Don't check out on this. Every single clip that I put in this is very important, because you'll see the new age coming out. You'll see how it's all pertained to the agendas that are being pushed now. Keep in mind, this is 1984 that this speech took place. And you'll also see how she lumps the Illuminati into this. I'm serious. And she just lumps Jesus as any other god. You'll see all of it in this speech. This is her 1984 vice president nomination speech. Check this out.
I am Dick Selsey, chair of the Democratic Party of Oregon, and a strong and enthusiastic supporter of the Mondale-Ferraro ticket. I am also proud to offer a nomination for the office of Vice President the name of Barbara Marx Hubbard of California. Barbara Hubbard has a message and a vision to offer the Democratic Party and the people of this world. It is a message of hope. It is a vision of the future.
The theme of my campaign is to fulfill the dream, a campaign for a positive future. Yet the power of the word of truth changed the world. In 1984, we face a tyranny far greater than King George, and we are seeking a freedom even greater than that of the individual. The tyranny we face is the threat of the extinction of the human race. And the freedom we seek is the emancipation of the genius of the human race to fulfill our highest potential. In 1984, we must state the new self-evident truth from the point of power of the American presidency. And the power of this word will transform the world once again. The new truth is that we are one planet, we are one peoples of earth, and we will live and die together forevermore. The office of the Vice President is the perfect place to call forth the genius of our people to build a world equal to our power and our aspiration. We have dreamed the dream, Jesse, and we must converge the new ideas, Gary, and we must organize with our masterful new president, Walter Mondale, to do the work. There now resides in the body politic the knowledge, the skills, the technologies, and the resources to fulfill that commitment. But they are horribly misused. 80% of our scientific and technological genius is focused on killing. Our foreign policy is threatening the world with global suicide, and so is the policy of the Soviet Union. The United States of America started the game. We must change the game. We must attract friend and foe alike to a new challenge, the building of new worlds on this earth and new worlds in space. We must dedicate our power to overcoming hunger in this century, to restoring our environment, to emancipating our creativity, and to exploring the further reaches of the human spirit and the infinite universe. Is now working in health, education, productivity, new energies, community building, education, space development, self-help works, and so forth. We have separated our intelligence from our love, our minds from our hearts. The Rainbow Coalition is bringing together all colors and races. It is also now the coalescing of the mind with the heart. It is now time for a new marriage. We should have a wedding in the White House. It is the wedding of love and knowledge, of spirit and material power. Our forebears set forth the vision. It is written on the dollar bill as it is written in our hearts. E pluribus unum, out of many, one. Novus ordo seclorum, a new order of the ages. You see the unfinished pyramid with the cosmic eye. This means that when we combine our magnificent building power with our spirit and love, we will have a new order of the ages. And finally it says, annuit ceptis, God favors this enterprise. This means that we are not doing this work alone. The force is with us. It is to this new order that we must now recommit. The tradition of America is transformation. We must go forth from this place with a vision of the future equal to our capacities. We have the first woman Vice President, Geraldine Ferraro, to bring feminine power to nurture the potential of the world. I support her totally and enthusiastically. The family of America, joined with the family of the world from whence we come, is the new coalition. Together we shall go to the mountaintop. In this campaign, Martin, Robert, Malcolm and John, Socrates and Jesus, Galileo and Gandhi, We pledge to you who have climbed this mountain before us alone that this time we are coming together. They can kill us one by one, but they can never kill us if we join hands and climb together. Through you, we have caught a glimpse of the human race acting at its highest. Now, as a united party and peoples, we can act out the dream.
Oh my goodness. There's a lot in there, guys. There is a lot packed into that. So I'll just run down a few of them, a few points that I really want to point out on it. If you want to hear this and then go back and take a look at it, you might hear something else that you didn't hear before. I had to listen to that several times because I just kept hearing these things. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's just filled with this. First of all, we're going to start with the fact of she calls it the vision of the future. That was her platform. She's specifically talking about that vision that she had, that she wrote about in 1966. That inner voice, that vision that gave her the thing where she was above the earth and it was one thing and we were the cells on it and the light and all that stuff. That's what she's talking about. So when she says a vision of the future, she's specifically referencing that. Her message and vision. That's what she's talking about. She also says to fulfill the dream. What dream? That vision that she had, dreamlike state in the vision. She's specifically referencing that again. She's calling herself a prophetess because she had that vision and now she's being pushed to apply it for the world. So she calls herself a prophetess. She says new truth. One planet, one people. The new truth. There's only one truth. Never changes. Who's the truth? Jesus. Jesus is the truth. He never changes. The Word of God, the God-breathed Word, is the truth. It never changes. God Himself, God the Father, He never changes. The Holy Spirit within us, He never changes. That's the truth. The Trinity and His Word is the truth. She's talking about a new truth, a new age truth, one that is one planet and one people, oneness with the planet. That is the new truth that she's talking about. Building of new worlds on Earth and new worlds in space. What worlds do you think she's talking about? She's not talking about cities. She's not talking about building new cities or communities or anything. She's talking about opening up some stuff with energy, that radiant light, bringing that in. We know that as portals that bring in demons. Demonic portals. As Christians, that is what we know she's talking about. But in her mind, in her New Age mind, she's talking about new worlds of energy and vibration and of love and oneness. She says further reaches of human spirit and infinite universe. Hitting that new knowledge, breaking through out of reality into the infinite universe. Again, this is where the Gnostic stuff comes in, where once you reach that new level of knowledge, which would be gnosis, you then break out of reality, out of this planet, astral project up to the ancients. And she specifically talked about those who have climbed the mountain before. Those are the ancients that she's talking about. Project up to the new ancients to get the new knowledge that they can offer to bring back down to the earth so they can apply this to the world, to fix it, to save it. That's Gnosticism. She's talking about it there in her New Age type of way. She says, intelligence from our love, mind and hearts. Again, synchronization of emotional, heart, spiritual, and mind. Synchronization. Rainbow Coalition. She made a reference to that. I'm not sure if people really remember what the Rainbow Coalition was, but there's three different versions of it. It all had to do with social justice. What are we seeing now? Different types of social justice, whether it be Alphabet, whether it be Black Lives Matter, doesn't matter. It's social justice. So she made reference to that. That is a part of the New Age as well. She said the cosmic eye on the pyramid, on the money. Then she specifically said new order of the ages. pyramid on the back of the pyramid is actually a version of the Tower of Babel. When the Lord scattered everybody from the Tower of Babel, they took that formation of the Tower of Babel, because people don't realize a tower back then is not like our skyscrapers today. It was a pyramid. And so they took it when they were scattered and placed it all over. That's why you can see pyramids all over the earth. They all got it from the same location, which was the Tower of Babel. What's on the money is also the Tower of Babel as well, that pyramid. Again, reference to the Illuminati, to the Tower of Babel. New order of the ages. There's your new world order. She said the force is with us when she was talking about God. The force is with us. That's the power force. I told you we'd get back to it. I said, hang on to it, put it in your pocket. There it is. Power force. Again, she's removing God, and the power force is our energy. It's in us. It lies dormant. We must awaken it. Then she said feminine power. Something I've always talked about with mystery religion. Feminism. Divine feminine is Sophia of Gnosticism. She is the wisdom of Gnosticism. Feminism stems from that. The mountaintop, here we go, mountaintop with the world family, combining Jesus with the false gods and teachers. She put Malcolm X and Gandhi and all of these people with Jesus. And they got to the mountaintop. They got to the ancient knowledge. And we are trying to get back up to them. Then she said that we will all reach the mountaintop together, which means total enlightenment and God position. We're all gods. We just have to awaken it to get up there. We just have to awaken it to get up there. All of that in that speech. There's more. I just picked a few of them. But there's more if you want to go back and watch that. There's a lot more that references a lot of things. This vision was expanded upon, her vision was expanded upon over the years leading up to this speech, where her inner voice became more prominent and more detailed, as well as louder. Going back in time, the foremothers of New Age, Helena Blavatsky, she was the creator of Theosophy, and Alice Bailey, who was the I can't think of the word, but she was the one right underneath her that learned everything from Blavatsky. Alice Bailey, she's the mother of New Age, also claimed to receive revelation through visions and inner voice. So the same visions and the same voice that delivered New Age and Theosophy to Bailey and Blavatsky is the same voice and vision that delivered this stuff to Hubbard. Similar in nature, especially Alice Bailey, where that voice also spoke of a new world order and a global religion, the same that Hubbard received. If you guys don't know, Alice Bailey, who is the understudy, I can't think of the word, of Helena Blavatsky, say that 5 times fast. She claimed to have gotten visions and the inner voice speaking to her, delivering her everything about New Age, and that's how she was able to apply it. One of the main things that she spoke about was this inner voice told her that she needs to create a global new order, a new global order, and a global religion. Well, exactly what does Scripture tell us about what's coming is a one world government, a one world order, and a one world religion. You take one world government and one world economy, there's your one world order. You take your one world religion, there's your global religion. So everything that is being said to Blavatsky, which then went to Bailey, which then went to Hubbard, is the same demonic voice delivering the exact same message to each woman. As Christians, we know that's a demonic voice. We understand that that's not some inner voice. We understand that is definitely not God. That is a demonic presence, demonic spirit that is delivering these instructions to these specific women, because the demons know that they had the influence and the pull to make it happen, which is then bringing about this Antichrist beast system built upon it. Again, it's all connected. It is all connected together. This demonic voice is what led Hubbard to write things like this. Get ready. Here's a couple of her books. The Revelation, Our Crisis is a Birth. I'll say that in a second. This is the summary of the book. This book is a revolutionary and inspiring document. Barbara Marx Hubbard decodes the biblical book of Revelation to reveal a message for our times encrypted in its pages. A message that stimulates us to leap beyond our limited ways of thinking to a new level of power and purpose. You know how much is wrapped up in that? So she's saying, self-declared prophetess, that she has decoded the biblical book of Revelation and has given that message in its pages to help us reach past the limited ways of thinking, new knowledge, and a new level of power and purpose, godlike status. There it is. The Revelation, Our Crisis is a Birth. So what we deem as a crisis, planetary crisis, she's talking about is the world's new birth. Remember when we were talking about that? Well, later on, this book was renamed. Same book, different name. This is even more horrific. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's even worse. Barbara Marx Hubbard, The Revelation, A Message of Hope for the New Millennium. It even comes with a new summary as well. In a world gone mad, cities plagued by violence, the global environment being devastated, there's the environment again, climate, religion, and nuclear annihilation a constant threat, how do we reclaim our confidence in the future? The Revelation offers a profoundly encouraging message. Here, Barbara Marx Hubbard, who visionary R. Buckmeister Fuller, we're going to get to him, trust me, called the best informed human now alive regarding futurism, turns to the prophetic visions of the biblical book of Revelation to give us an astonishingly clear map for addressing today's problems. These ancient writings foretell the crisis of contemporary life, there we go, and give a prescription for healing our planet through simple acts of our everyday lives. Jean Houston has written of this book, if taken seriously, this is Jean's quote, if taken seriously, it marks a change of staggering proportions, a turning of the corner of humanity. Now, what does that mean? You take all that, what does that mean? Hubbard, her belief is that Revelation is only a warning of possibility that can be stopped if sustainable goals are met through conscious evolution and transhumanism. So she believes that through sustainable goals, sustainable development goals, revolution can be stopped because it's only a warning. If we don't change these things, then it will happen. But if we do change these things, we can stop that. And through sustainable development goals, climate religion, through conscious evolution, and through transhumanism, we can avoid the book of Revelation. You will notice how Hubbard carries forward the same New Age theosophy and Gnostic torch that is the foundation of what we see taking place through the WEF, through the UN, through the WHO, through SDGs, through the cell or castle curriculum, and through the churches. The same stuff that started in Garden of Eden, which you can see it work its way to the Tower of Babel, which you can see work its way all the way up to the creation of the Catholic Church, to Theosophy, to occultism, to New Age, to mystery religion, will eventually become the one world religion that is intertwined throughout all of the pillars of the Antichrist beast system that is coming. This is the why. This is the why behind everything we see. When you see that news clip pop up about this new Amazon's biometric Palm Pay, when you see the news clip pop up about the WHO is signing this document, when you see the news thing pop up that says Klaus Schwab said this, or Noah Yuval Harari said that. We'll talk about him too. When you see all of that stuff, which at first sight just looks like some evil people putting in some evil technology to put the thumb down on us, in actuality, every single one of those things developed by every single one of those people, whether they know it or not. People at the top level, they know it. But the people, underlings developing this stuff, even if they don't know it, is developing a new technology, a new agenda, a new system, a new piece of whatever that is still connected to the New Age belief that will become the one world religion. It is connected in belief as well as in material and physical use. It all is. These ideas that Hubbard has been pushing, you can now see them being applied to every bit of what we're seeing now. This is the why. This is the rabbit hole we're going to go down. I am going to be no holds bar. I don't care what name comes up. I don't care what technology comes up. I don't care what organization. I don't care who's involved with this. If they are connected, I'm going to let you guys know what's going on with this. Because this is a lot bigger than any of us, including myself, have any idea how big it truly is. It is in everything right now getting pushed. And it only confirms exactly what I've been saying from the very beginning when I started this. The only truth that we have, the only truth is this book. That's it. This is the only thing that we can hold on to with 100% confidence that is not involved with what we're seeing today. It tells us about what we're seeing today. It warns us about what we're seeing today. But it's not involved in it. Because this is the truth. This is the only truth. There are many, many, many more connections with groups, corporations, companies, families, organizations, names, and more that we're going to explore with this, God willing. Honestly, I hope this is the only one I have to do because we've been raptured, but if not, I'm going to keep on going through this. All of it, all these connections, reveal that New Age religion from the top down is the driving force behind these agendas that we see. And New Age religion is just a different form of Gnosticism that will eventually become the one world religion. It's the same thing. Again, without having the why, everything we see unfolding is not complete. It is incomplete. It looks like a physical fight, but when you see the demonic spiritual aspect of why, the pieces then fall into place of the fight against the principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against the spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. Therefore, we take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Hang on to the Word of God.